Greetings and welcome to something a little different with a little Sunday substance. I'm here in Leytonstone. My guest today is someone that has played a very strong role in the roots and Rasta vibrations in the East London community, not only with the music, but with his philosophies. And part of his philosophies shall be unveiled today. Stay tuned. A little Sunday substance with me, Lady Substance, here at the Hibiscus Live Community Radio.mixlr.com. Stay tuned. So yes, I'm here with Afrikan Simba, Isaac and Boji. They're here in rehearsal for the Laying to Rest of Metro. So just wanted to go round and we'll go on to the one Afrikan Simba first. That's you. To ask who was Metro to you?
Well, Metro is one of our daddy in our sound system, and in teaching us about when I first encountered Metro, I was around 12 years old. Yeah, I'm moving with my brethren them from Zulu Priest. Yeah, and them time they wouldn't even form Zulu Priest sound yet. You know?
That was the sound system.
Yeah, you know, but we didn't even form Zulu Priest yet. And Metro was an icon in the area, you know, being the man who built the amps for just Shaka, and also not only Shaka,
maybe once. That's where I'm looking.
I'm sure if you see him,
Juke Vin,
you're gonna recognize him.
So
who was also said to be the first soundman in the UK, and also so many other sound systems, heavy sound systems, you know.
So he was an innovator in the...
He was an innovator in the electronics of sound system, you know, when it comes to building amplifiers and preamplifiers and such things, you know, and maintenance, you know, of such things. And he was also a sound man.
A DJ?
Yeah, in select music, and he had his sound, Metro Downbeat. I sat down with Metro many times, and Metro told that when he first came from Jamaica, no one really had a sound system. What them call sound system was not, to him, was not sound system. It's just like gram, you know.
Weak?
Yeah, people that play off a gram, you know, gram up, you know, what they call blue point or blue spot, you know. And then it developed to, like, some people, the biggest speaker man did that was a 12-inch speaker, you know. And Metro was the one who went down to a place called Goodman's.
Remember Goodman's?
Who make speakers.
Stereo. Oh, a speaker, you know, them to start with.
And he said to them he wanted an 18-inch speaker or something like that, you know what I mean? Because he's heard of such things, you know, because they were used for military purpose. You know?
Really? So he was that technical into...
The Amstrad, the first Amstrad they come out, amplifiers.
Yes.
Design.
So going back to the Goodman, he told them of his idea about this 18-inch speaker, which I think they were for military use at the time. You know, certain of the amplifiers and things that were being designed for sound system were not really meant for domestic use. You know, it's the ideas that, like what Boji said, were Metro and the innovators of those times, yeah, gave high spec makes and models like Amstrad and
Metro is the man who build Shaka sound.
Yes.
Yeah. And any of them sound system going around them time, like Quaker City, all of them from up now, all the songs were the name.
Yeah, man.
Anything wrong with the amplifier, them preamp, anything is Metro. And Metro sort them out.
But Metro also tell me about a man called Eddie, who the innovators, because Eddie was a man who worked alongside Metro. You know, they were the first man that really building amps for the sound systems. So anyway, going back to this Goodman story now. So he told Goodman about this 18-inch speaker that said they never have nothing like it. So one day he came home, maybe some weeks or months later, and there was a letter in his house inviting him to come down to the Goodman's factory. And when he got there, he said that they presented him with this like 18-inch speaker and said, like, asked him, is this like the kind of specifications he was talking about? And he said, well, it looked similar, it looked like the thing, you know what I mean? So they said to him, well, take it away, go away and use it, you know what I mean, test it out and, you know, let us know what you think about it. And so for many years, not even weeks or months, many years, Metro was the first sound system, Metro Downbeat was the first.
So what kind of
sound
year
system.
we're talking? What era?
We're talking,
I haven't got a phone to phone.
I don't know if this was still the 60s, we've gone in at the 70s now. It must have been late 60s, early 70s.
Wow.
But
The early days.
he was the first man for years, to be playing with that 18-inch speaker.
Wow.
You know?
Wow.
Yeah, he was the first man to play a Bob Marley record. Yeah, in London, because he meet Bob Marley in Aquarius record shop.
Where was that?
Halfway through Jamaica.
Okay.
And Bob ride up on a bicycle. It's a story where Metro tell her, you know. Bob ride up on a bicycle with 3 7-inch, type on a shoes, lace. Right, tie
7-inch speaker.
7-inch record.
Okay.
Tie with a
Shoelace.
shoelace.
Greetings.
Aye.
I Lady Substance on home location, honor of my essence, but home because I have a good friend here, Afrikan Simba, back from his travels to the motherlands. And here, as you saw earlier, already in works to do, pay respect to laying to rest of a man called Metro, a man very instrumental in what you now do as part of your life, I believe. So, firstly, before we kick off, let's just say, what did Metro mean for you? What was Metro for you?
Metro, Percy, Mr. Metro Downbeat. He's the godfather of sound system in the UK, you know. And he has been involved in sound system in the UK from its inception.
Wow.
You know, not just as a listener or a sound owner, but as a man who created the instruments that we use to amplify this music, including great valve amplifiers with big valves, that some of them take, and big transformers.
Can't give people deaf ears now.
Those transformers, the transformers alone probably took sometimes 3 or 4 people to carry one set of transformer for one amp.
Wow.
You know, and the valves, KT88s and such, you know, very expensive now in this time. They were expensive then, but they're more expensive now because they're not really in use anymore. You know, but
museum pieces.
When he came to the UK, according to his story that he narrated to I, he didn't meet what we know now a standard equipment for sound system. You know, all this equipment had to be created. You know, they only came and found amplifiers that emitted 25 watts. And if you had a 100-watt amp, you were a king. You know?
Yeah.
So they had to create what they desired to use, you know?
And he was the innovator.
He was the innovator. He was one of the main men, you know. I can't say that there were no others, but he was prominent, you know, in creating the sounds for many of the top leading sound systems of the day. It's like 60s, 70s, 80s, you know, 90s.
Which brings us to where we are with the music now. Without that, the sound of the dance hall or would not be.
Would not be without people like him. Yeah, creating preamplifiers and, you know, the first man to use effects and sound system.
So him we have to blame for all them when I push the button for
all the siren like what Shaka used. You got that from Metro.
Wow.
You know?
Innovator.
So yeah.
Well, that's just to say, so give respect and condolences to the family of Metro. We remember you, and man like Simba, we're going to talk about what African Simba, what you do musically, is that stems from the roots of the old, I don't know, the innovators of the dub and roots music scene. So, tell me.
Well, I'm just a simple Rasta soldier.
Say it in your song, which one? I'll tell you for why I say that. It's because I know you through the Hibiscus, like I say. Always want to be promoting what Hibiscus is trying to do within our community. And then I met you. And then knowing what you were doing, like you're a band who promotes eating well. When you eat well, you have a well mind, you have well body, you are able to cope with the life situations. You promote that healthy eating, our foods, knowing ourselves naturally. And then you also do that with your musical speech. You're always empowering and kind of like wanting to wise up, part of the roots thing. And to see you with the Hibiscus family in wanting to uplift and bring us forward in who we are, not being ashamed of who we are. So that's why I say, you say who you are. I know your inspiration for me. People like me is like,
thank you.
Our truth matters, and people like you make us see it matters. So, you get there.
Well, it's been a long journey, I suppose. You know, I was born here in the UK in the 60s, born 1967. You know?
You're younger than me.
Yeah, well, you gotta be younger than somebody, innit?
Lord.
And still older than some, you know? Yeah, so during the time when I was born, you know, I mean, my parents experienced the same thing as many Africans from the motherland and from the Caribbean. I'm coming to England facing no blacks, no dogs, no Irish, so can't get accommodation, you know, just the general racism, the isms and schisms of, you know, being an obvious immigrant in Britain, because there's other immigrants who are not so obvious.
You can't just dye your hair blonde and blend in.
You understand? You definitely don't come from here. You know, so, and it was something that we had to deal with, you know.
So even though you're born here, you still felt that. In a way, I felt the difference of self being born here and grown here. So you felt that too.
Yeah, I felt that too. You know, in school, sometimes remarks that would be made by neighbors or strangers on the street, even who don't know you, but they've got comments because of the color of your skin or your race. You understand? Being undermined. You know, kind of having skill or intelligence, but sometimes being rejected. You know, because
you see, grown. A man is grown. So what is your, let's say from, okay, let's go back to childhood, teenage years in UK, and you've seen all these isms around you, but you are here as a man, wise, or a man taking time to make decisions. How you get there from there?
Well, it's about, I don't know, how did I get here? Just tradition, you know. Tradition.
Well, I would say that there's a calling inside of you for something.
I feel so. I feel so. I feel that I've been given energy and inspiration to do something that I've been chosen to do.
Yeah.
You know, I can't walk away from it. You know, I could try, but I don't think it could work. You know, because there's a burning desire within I to do what I do. You know.
You were stubborn as a child, isn't it?
Yes. Yes, I was. You know.
Get you in trouble?
Yeah, get me in trouble. Music got me in trouble.
Music get you in trouble?
Yeah. Yeah, because I used to sneak out, yeah, when I was young to go and listen to sound system. You understand? And although I would get beaten for it, yeah.
See that, mums?
Come the next Friday, my altar gate is like, I didn't really, something inside me didn't care about getting beaten. I must go listen to sound system.
It's like, it's a calling, it'd be worth it in the end.
I think it was something to do with the energy, yeah, of being amongst my peers and us going through that experience of listening to liberating messages in music. You know, it wasn't all about going to check girls or, you know, that was part of it and everything, you know. But
satisfied something, a spiritual satisfaction.
Yeah, spiritual satisfaction, you know. And so even as a youngster, right, I wasn't looking for a girlfriend, I was looking for a queen, you know. Because I'm already on this king and queen journey. Yeah. And I sound Rasta man a king and queen. You know, African people were kings and queens, so I was looking for a queen. Yeah. And I suppose both woman and man, yeah, you know, going on this journey, you know, of cultural expression. See, we both had cross expectation of each other. See?
Yes. I want my king.
Yeah.
You want your queen.
Yeah, the queen wants the king to be a certain way. But the king doesn't want to be that way.
We want you to be this way.
But the king wants the queen to be a certain way.
Yeah.
And the queen doesn't want to be that way. Maybe. Or maybe she wants to be, or maybe she will be that way.
I can only speak for I, but
yes.
You know? We want to, me growing up, I mean, the times when you were on the spiritual journeys, I was down in Lyceum and I was on another zone altogether. But I still knew within me, no, I had to be who I was. And there was a strong, man want you to be this, man want you to be that. You know, man can't see who I am. That kind of vibration within. So that was my stubbornness, I suppose. And the bucking of heads. But as you get older and you mature more, you begin to understand why that is. Everyone has their own road to travel there. As long as we are communicating what is our interpretation of what we want, and who is listening. Does a man listen? Does a woman listen? So, sorry, female input.
No, well, you know, living in the West, there's such a different discipline. There's different disciplines. Like, in Africa, right, it's hard to find a teenager or somebody even probably less than 25, right, living with his girlfriend. You understand? Man don't live with girlfriend.
They live with wife.
You live alone until you get married, or you've introduced a serious woman to your family.
Okay, yeah.
And you probably will marry, yeah. From your living together, yeah, you're gonna have to get married. You understand? Because
still now?
yes, because it's not.
I mean, these days now.
Yes, you see, these things, these aspects are not Lonian. Yeah, the importance, yeah, of being in a relationship with somebody of the opposite sex and taking it serious, yeah, is very, it's kind of like culturally enforced, you know.
I find that surprising, really.
You know, yeah.
Nice to hear, definitely, but it kind of surprises me.
See, it's easy for people to do it here, yeah, because there's a welfare system. Yeah. So you don't even have to be working. You can get housing benefit, right? And you can be claiming whatever benefit. And back home, there's no welfare system.
You have to work.
So if you're gonna be living with a woman, right? Number one, how are you gonna fund that? You understand? Right? The responsibilities of manhood and womanhood, yeah, are more ingrained in you in Africa because there's no safety nets.
Yeah.
You understand? There's no.
That's why education's important. Education
is very important because it's the key to maybe a better future. A future. Education definitely brings enlightenment. Yeah. They say education is expensive, but then they say ignorance can cost more.
Sure.
You understand? Because if you are ignorant to the facts and you always need somebody else to come and explain it to you, you're always open to being fooled, even. You understand? Because the person who is so-called explaining to you could lie and could be fooling you.
Yeah.
You understand? Right? Could be your accountant or your manager. Look how many artists.
No, I was going to say, could be is more likely to be because, it's exactly that. Those talented people who did not take the time to educate themselves on what they needed were fooled and manipulated by people who
they trusted.
Took all their profits and left them with the debt, and then they had nothing left to show for it afterwards. And mankind,
people who were supposed to protect their assets, you know, just took advantage, knowing that, well, you don't know nothing, so
you have to be wise. You don't have to know, you have to be wise, because there is no safety net, and no one's going to look out for your best interest. Everyone's out for their own. That's sad. You want to take that call? We're going to have a little break. You know, I'm going to give you one of them, give you one of your tunes there, innit?
Alright.
I don't know which one yet, but
in this time of great tribulations, I have to feed and strengthen the nation, What me say? Early in the rising and the breaking of the dawn, Rastaman put on him water boat and head down to the farm. After till the soil, enough works have to go on. Plant up the seed for trying works to perform. Food feed the nation, Rastafari to provide. For vitality to keep the people them alive. For mental clarity, for health and strength. Rasta big up on the farmer, them full of talent. So make your food be a medicine. medicine and your medicine be your food. In a this time you better treat yourself good. It's not about your money, it's rather about your health. Make your health be your wealth and look after yourself. There's good, better, best, so no make your body panic. When it comes to the food, I say the best is organic. Italic fight and a chalice full of chronic. The best vegetable grow inside that's organic. When the harvest done, the farmer head feed the target. I fill out the van and me say reach down a market. Vegetable in a bag, in a box, in a basket. I feel have the chronic, but you know when my famous it make your food be your medicine and your medicine be your food. In a this time you better treat yourself good. It's not about your money, it's rather about your health. Make your health be your wealth and look after yourself. Make your food be your medicine and your medicine be your food. In a this time you better treat yourself good. It's not about your money, it's rather about your health. Make your health be your wealth and look after yourself. In a the jungle store good food, they on the shelves. Spoil the choice, customer they want the flour that spells. Gluten-free pasta, just for the rasta clean line. Local time, passion fruit, cane root, full of vitamins, minerals, nutritious value to counteract the poisons that Babylon throw on your good food. Clean food, electric food for your temple. Straight from Mother Nature, so let's keep it simple. Make your food be your medicine and your medicine be your food. In a this time you better treat yourself good. It's not about your money, it's rather about your health. Make your health be your wealth and look after yourself. Your food be your medicine and your medicine be your food. In a this time, just treat yourself good. It's not about your money, it's rather about your health. Make your health be your wealth and look after yourself. Early in the rising at the breaking of the dawn, Rastaman put on the water boat and head down to the farm. After till the soil, enough works have a one. Plant up the seed for him works to perform. Food for the nation, Rastafari to provide. For vitality to keep the people them alive. For mental clarity, for health and strength, Rasta big up on the farmer, them full of talent. So make your food be your medicine and your medicine be your food. In a this time you better treat yourself good. It's not about your money, it's rather about your health. Make your health be your wealth and look after yourself.
Yeah, man, farmer man thing.
We're back. We're back.
We're there.
Are you the over there? Greetings. Hope you're okay. Hope your Sunday is going fine and well. Afrikan Simba with me, Lady Substance, here on a little Sunday Substance with the Hibiscus Community Hub family, trying to bring to you truths through our rites of passage of life. I'm saying it just flows, but you know what we were talking about in the break was philosophies of life, because this is kind of what we're doing, where we have philosophies that we're trying to live by, and in that living by we are sharing. As you saying, philosophy, to philosophize is to be wise.
Well, it's to share wise mind, you know, and even you can pick sense out of nonsense.
Thankfully.
You know? Yeah. So, you know, like, people like to get to the nitty gritty. They like to be practical, right? They want to do, they want to see, they want action. Yeah, but sometimes if we don't philosophize and think, meditate, debate, converse, you understand, then we're gonna make beef steak. Then we wanna make veggie pie. You understand? Yeah. So beef steak and mistake, you know?
Beef steak and mistake.
You know. So
Nah, me I keep quiet, cause me not really like beef, but me love me meat. Sorry. So on that vein then, because I know you just stepped back, like I say, from the motherlands and that, so what got you there and what you've been up to out there?
well, going to Africa is always about going home, you know. So I went home to share the moment with family, friends, like-minded people, you know, and see how we can, or how I and I can you know, collectively bring some of our ideas to manifestation, you know. So, you know, like I used to run a shop. I used to import food. I used to sell retail food, wholesale food, distribute food. You understand? And food has been a very big part of my life. But I don't want to have a store anymore.
Music, man.
Right? I want to be free, so to speak. And having a store, having a business like that kind of locked me down. Yet, I'm a very commercial person, and that's, and I believe in economics and commerce. In order for you to sustain yourself, to be independent, to be able to determine your own future, you need to fund yourself.
At least be non-dependent.
And even as a community and as a people, in our various groups and organizations, we have aims, objectives, goals, desires, and you know, we need to find ways to fund, you know, these missions. You understand? So business is a very big part of my life, business and commerce. So I was looking to see about business opportunities. You understand?
So you find any out there?
There's many business opportunities, but it's about choosing one, researching it very well, doing pilot schemes before, you know, jumping into the ocean, you know. Then there's family, you know, because I have family in Africa, in Ethiopia, in Nigeria, in different parts of Africa, but in those two places mainly. And I'm very connected with my family. You know, in Nigeria, I'm the head of our house, the Unduka house, Dakoru.
I know you're helping your niece to go through university.
Yeah.
So it's all about putting in to help the family, encourage the family to grow.
Yes. In my family, in my nation, you know, we don't have a welfare system. So those who climb higher are also expected to reach down and draw others up. You understand? So that's part of my
ethos.
Ethos is part of my mission, and I do what I can do on that level.
That's why I like you, because it's you know your duty, you know your responsibility, but you also do it willingly. It's a willingness of you to do that.
Well, when you realize that you were born for a purpose, and you realize what your purpose is, you just have to get on and do it. And you have to do it willingly and with joy. You have to be happy that you were chosen for that mission. You see, like some people say that they don't want to be used. I don't want people using me. I don't want to be used. Well, I like to be used. Yeah, because in being used, it shows that I'm useful. Because if you're not useful, you won't be used.
Yeah, no use. But I think there's a fine line. Not being utilized.
Misused.
To be utilized.
I don't want to be misused.
No, yes.
I don't want to be abused.
No.
Yeah, but I'm open to being used.
Utilized.
No, I'm open to being used.
Utilized.
Utilized.
I try to change your mind. Utilize better than use.
Well, am I a utility?
Yes, you is a very multifunctional utility.
Could be.
Now listen to me, I have my own fragmented philosophies.
So
utilize, don't brutalize. Because I think language is powerful. you know, the way we speak, what we speak can have effect. And I suppose it's just with me, being used, being manipulated, I don't like. So
no, I don't like those.
But I do see the fine line. Yes,
why,
we should be helpful. Yes, we should.
In learning, you see, you have to learn. Yeah, I've had to learn. Yeah, and I'm still learning that in as much as I'm open to being used. Yeah, I also have to be assertive.
Yes.
You understand?
Yeah.
And I shouldn't be afraid to say no when something is not possible at the time, at the moment, or ever. You understand? Because there's some things that may never be possible or probable. Anything can be possible, but
some things are not probable. Yeah.
It's possible that I could do this for you, but I probably won't, or I probably will. You understand? And it's working with those probabilities, you know, and being assertive about it, you know, and being able to prioritize as well, you know, because sometimes I've put maybe the cart in front of the horse. You understand?
But that's the learning curve of life,
It's
though,
learning.
isn't it?
It's about learning. You know?
But you're still the reins. You're still a whole lot. You're still a.
Because I've been very impulsive sometimes. Yeah, and I have to rein myself in. I have to learn how to rein myself in. You understand? And not work so much.
It is possible. You can be impulsive. You can learn to rein yourself in, and it's not just for the men. Women too.
Yeah, well.
Because that's me as well. I used to.
Come a time you have to think about self-preservation. You understand? If you want to be able to continue doing what you're doing, and doing it with joy, then you have to learn how to be conservative with your energy, and conservative with your headspace, because you can't allow certain things to just enter into the space, your meds, you understand, right, and take over, because that will just weaken you, and stall you, disable you, and in the end probably kill you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Bring you to the brink at least.
You know?
And this is why I said Lady Substance, that's been my journey is healing. My creativeness is my healing, but it's also taught me how to be in contact with myself, to find out about self, because otherwise I would have been the fly that gone in the fly trap. Zzz, gone. You know? Stop. Rein it in. Kind of question, reason, philosophize, and begin to walk the steps that are the truth of self, as what's kept me going. You know, this is why I love my roots. I'm not really religious, or I do not have that. There's a word. I can't remember it right now. But discipline at the moment, at present, but I'm working towards that, because I know it's something that will be necessary. Without discipline, without focus, you cannot get to whatever your goal in life is going to be. And so here has to be ready, or at least prepared to know there are adjustments that always need to be taken. So another thing which I like about you is, well, you always keep your hand in to the spirituality of the music. So in Ethiopia, I saw that little clip you were doing with the drummers. Tell me about that. The
Adwa, Battle of Adwa celebration. Yeah, well, in Ethiopia, I tried to get involved with the Rastafari community. I'm always willing, if I'm able, to, bring forth our energy. And the Ethiopian World Federation is an organization that I'm a member of. I'm a member of the Addis chapter, Addis Ababa chapter.
What does that do?
The local there.
Yeah.
Well, the Ethiopian World Federation is an organization established by His Imperial Majesty, Emperor
Haile
Haile
Selassie.
Selassie I. And he gave the organization a president in the form of Dr. Malaku Bayan. He commissioned him really to set up and run the organization. And it was set up to bring black people of the world really together, you know, for the common purpose of saving ourselves from annihilation. You understand?
Which year was this? When was that?
This was in the 30s, you know, around 1937, I would say.
So from the late
Just before the
30s,
Second World War.
we've been recognizing the need for our unity.
Well, the need for unity has been recognized from a taller time.
True.
You understand?
Yeah.
And it's always been highlighted at different stages.
Yeah.
You know, there's certain type, like recently, the need for unity was highlighted after the police put their knee in the neck of George Floyd. It brought it to the forefront again that we are a common people who all suffer from this common scourge of racism, and we need to unite and empower ourselves, you understand, and be able to do for self and be self-reliant.
Yes.
You understand? The whole euphoria of white, black, you understand? Go spend your money, don't spend your money in a nobody shop, man. Go to the black man shop, you understand? But unfortunately, I and I as a people, we go through phases, yeah, and we don't sustain those moments, yeah, and keep that buzz going on a permanent, you understand? And we allow things to distract us, you understand? And you see, like the people, all the powers that be, know about this. So they know that there was a time, like what I was saying to you, during the 70s, the 80s, when I and I peers were captivated by the music and the message in the music, because the music was revolutionary. You understand? It was love and revolution. The two things that came out of that era were the roots and culture, yeah, and the lovers rock.
Wow,
You understand? It was about reggae music is about love and revolution. You understand? And those two aspects, yeah,
come together.
Some people would call it black love, right? This whole essence of, you know, the black man and woman, you understand, together, right? Because we know that there's been even a fight about keeping our families fragmented, you understand, us unable to hold families together, things coming into our mentality and making us say, child, right, that's it, I'm off, you understand, right, I'm done with you, you understand. And
I'm not gonna lie, me I gonna say, I don't see it as black and white, you know, because I think we've gone too far into the centuries for it to be that simple. So it does come down to mentality, spiritual self and soul, more than colour of how we separate.
70s, I'm talking in the 70s.
It was more,
This, I mean, even in movies, there was a thing what they used to call black exploitation or something like that.
Yeah.
Right, where you had the
Jackie Brown.
things like Jackie Brown, Shaft, right, all these things that heavily stereotyped certain aspects of,
how we got our
community,
Huggy Bear
our
and
Huggy
stuff,
Bear, the hustlers and the pimps, you understand, right? And certain things come into our heads, you understand, or into our meds, right, that influence the youths, because, and it's not necessarily, so after the revolution, right, and that flow of love, right, they took away love and revolution. they enforce or influence revolution, right? So if a man have a gun, him now go kill him brother, you know,
Yeah.
right? And the enemy we are buffer, right? Revolution get swapped with gangsterism. Now me I go kill my brother
Hood, yeah.
over drugs, over turf, over sand,
Yeah.
right?
The positive
Territory.
message gets taken away.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, the aspect of love, right, gets swapped with sex.
Lust.
You understand?
Yeah.
Lust, right? People are not singing love song anymore. People are singing sex song. Girl, sit down for me,
Yeah, no,
like
no,
a
no.
jockey for me.
I bet you know how the lyric then.
Right? Right? So that's what it's gone
Yeah,
down
no, I
to.
get you,
You
yeah,
understand? These are the distractions that have weakened our
The
community.
position.
The people were thinking about repatriation in the 80s. Yeah. That wave didn't come again until George Floyd. When everyone's saying now, well, you know what, we want to go to Africa, you know. We want to go to Africa, you know. We want to go to Africa, you know. And you see, technology has had its help. It's helped. It's been negative, it's been positive. Right? Through technology, people get other insight to Africa. Because Africa now build up its film industry. It have Nollywood. Right? So people can watch Nigerian movies and say, wow,
It's become
that's
more
how
than the
life is in the village.
stereotypes.
Oh
yeah.
wow, that's how life is in the town. Wow,
Yeah.
I didn't know that Africa had big houses like that or nice places like that. You can see developed cities. You can go on YouTube.
Yeah.
You understand? There's people who go around Africa and do their local blogs. You know what I mean? Showing you about what it's like in this country, what's like in that country, like what admire.
The real life. Yeah.
Yeah, so-
yeah.
You know, the exposure through technology.
Shattering the stereotypes
Shattering
of
the
what
stereotypes
it used to be.
and making us realize that we have so much more in common than uncommon, right? So Babylon's plan, Babylon's net, yeah, is losing its holding power. It's soon going to rip apart. You understand? And they're not going to be able to stop I from doing what I have to do. So Babylon are so desperate right now because they need to keep us as their footstool.
Keep the power.
You understand? In order to
Reach their heights.
thank you. So it's all a competition of life. You understand? They might do what they might do because they believe that they have to do it for survive. So I have to do what is necessary for I
To
to
make
survive.
sure you survive.
You
Yeah.
understand?
Because that is the ultimate sadness. I think with recently Russia released the iconography of the old religions, and then this awareness that you can't hide truth. Truth will always have to be. So the sadness is stop denying. You have to be fair to all people, and yes, we are included in that all people, because when you do that, everything else shall balance out. Which brings back to the speech that Haile Selassie did, the League of Nations, you know, where we have the song, we remember the song from Bob Marley, until the philosophy which place one real superior and another inferior. All those kind of vibrations. It's not a song lyric, it's a true word. It's a statement of how it is if we do not take control of our spiritual selves and do the right things in life, you know, because we have a choice in life. And so whether it be to listen to someone who's promoting hate or to choose to walk a path of peace, it becomes down to us. And to me, it's like the Rasta-ness is about what? The truth to peace. So you take all the knowledge that we know there are people there who do not want to see you progress to that, but you don't let it be your destruction, you make it be your strength. So that's what I go back to the World Ethiopia organization that you're with. It's like, tell me about the Battle of Adwa, because I did not know anything about this at all.
One of the things that the Ethiopian World Federation do is celebrate historical moments on the Ethiopian calendar. I was in that clip that you were referring to. We were celebrating the Battle of Adwa, and the Battle of Adwa took place in 1800s.
Late 1800s?
Late 1800s, yeah, and what happened was Italian invasion. Just this is before the Mussolini one in 1930 something, 1935 or 36. So the Italian invasion, the Italians came to invade Ethiopia. The Battle of Adwa was the last stand against total colonization of Africa, really.
Wow.
And it maintained Ethiopia's independence and at least ensured that there is still a place on the continent that remained Ethiopia and remained free. You understand? Because the whole continent really is Ethiopia.
I was going to say, is it true that Ethiopia is the only continent that has not been
Never been colonized.
colonized? Yeah.
Yeah.
And the last battle, Adwa, is to do...
Adwa was not the last one. Adwa was the one that we were celebrating at that time. Yeah, during the reign of Emperor Menelik II, and the time his great general who assisted him greatly during that war was Ras Makonnen, who was the father of Emperor Haile Selassie and the first cousin of Emperor Menelik. So those two great men are highly celebrated during this time. You understand? And
saving their people,
yeah,
saving their land.
There's also a spiritual aspect with the church because Georgis, who the Europeans call George, he's the patron saint of Ethiopia, and there is a
St. George. The same St. George.
Tegus Georgis, who the Europeans call St. George.
The same St. George they have as the English
Yeah,
flag.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's before he was patron saint of England, he's always been patron saint of Ethiopia. So, in Ethiopian religious mythology, you could say, it is said that Georgis came onto the battlefield in spiritual, and fought the battle with them.
With them.
There's times during wars in Ethiopia between the Italians and the indigenous people when it's historically recorded that swarm of bees came and fight off the Italians. Understand?
Wow.
And mystical things like this. So
I've never heard any of those in the history books at all.
and we have to remember, you see, one thing when we look at colonization and we look at the whole of Africa, if we, in the recent memory of Ethiopia, was a land of famine, a land of poverty,
Starvation.
a land of deprivation, a land of AIDS. You understand? So Ethiopia has always been looked on by the West as probably the poorest part of Africa. Then you have the giants like South Africa and Nigeria, as looked as like the commercial capitals and the industrious and wealthy parts of Africa, and the educated parts because of educated in what?
Universities that are...
Colonial education.
Yeah.
All right. How is it that these other parts of the continent could not stave off colonialism, yet the little skinny, poor suffering people in Ethiopia, manage to stave off imperialism and colonialism?
Yeah, and everyone banding together to try
So
and
there
destroy.
must be a spiritual difference
Oh, I like that. Yeah.
from those people and the other people. So you understand? There must be something spiritual. It is said that in Ethiopia, the Ark of the Covenant is there. Right? There's so many spiritual stories and aspects,
of Ethiopia.
and stories to be told about Ethiopia, right? Because Ethiopia is the world's Christian nation. See? Now, a lot of people, African people, are Christians, but through the eyes of Europe, because they're supporting and worshipping in the way that the slave master taught them. You understand? It could be an African story, but it's been put to them in a very Eurocentric fashion. That even to the point of the Christ and the Savior have been painted and presented as white.
Bleach.
Yeah.
You get bleaching.
So now, here comes Ethiopia, always had in their mind and in their midst, yes,
They know
Christian,
themselves.
yes, Christ is a black warrior, yes, the whole thing is their experience and their story, and they have managed to save themselves from colonization. Yeah, so
That bears
they never
pondering.
have weapon. See,
No big superpower as such. No nuclear power, no bombs and things.
but those who came with bombs and tanks
Could not overcome
could
them.
not overcome them.
I like that. And you know, with that, we're going to end this show and we're going to play your song, Ark of the Covenant. Because I feel said it go right there, sir. Because the message is respect. From Metro, from the music, to the people with the hearts and souls to carry on a journey that is not filled with glory and bling bling. It's about the real thing, which is heart, soul and spirit. Roots for all. It's not a color blocking, it's spiritual awakening. So, good day to you all from this A Little Sunday Substance Home Edition. Me glad to have you back in England though, me can't lie. Afrikan Simba,